Hello, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode of Lewis the Tech Guy. In today's video, we're going to go over slidables. Those fun little actions you could do on your phone where you just kind of slide it to the side and take some action. All right, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so to get started, the first thing we're going to need is to go to our pub spec YAML. And under dependencies, we have to go to Flutter Slidable. And here is the package right here. Flutter Slidable, installing, get your dependency from here, copy that, put it in your Fluttable dependencies, and then do packages.get. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it again. We'll close that out. All right. Then under my lib folder, I created a model directory and created a user.dart model. That's very simple. It's a user class with some properties and a constructor. All right. So then in my main.dart, I went ahead and created a list of users, and we'll use that soon. I'll leave that up there in case you want some reference. But first, I just kind of want to talk about the actual slidable. So what we're going to do is in here, we're going to do slidable. And make sure you include the package. I've already included it right here. So the slidable takes 3 or 4 things. It takes an action pane. So basically, what is going to happen when you click on the slide, right, to open your list tile, if you will. So they have a few options. The most common one is slidable. Draw action pane. There we go. Then what is the child? In this case, I'm going to give it a container, and the container is going to have I'm going to give it a color so we can see it. Color.red. Colors.red. And then a child, and we're going to give it a child of list tile. And the title is going to be widget type text, and it's going to be, look, I'm a slidable. All right. And then the next thing it takes is a action. So you can have, I think, 2 different types of actions, but I'm going to use the icon slide action, which basically allows me to use an icon widget. So in this, I'm going to return a child of icons that, let's say, add, and let's give it a color, colors.orange. All right, so fingers crossed, we're gonna restart our app. Bring it over here, and look, we have our slidable. We slide to the right, we get a little plus sign, and it's orange. Now, if you want to slide to the left and get something, what you have to use is, instead of action, you have to use a secondary action. And again, we'll put in our icon slide action. And once again, we'll give it an icon property, icons dot subtract. I'm looking for the minus side, but apparently I don't have it. Backspace, yeah. Oh, there it is, remove. All right, hot reload that, and there you go. Voila. Look, I'm a slidable. Plus, minus. Notice that the only thing that's happening right now is if I click on it, it just goes back to it. All right, so realistically, you're never going to kind of manually do all this work. What you're going to do is be working off of a backend database, which I'm going to emulate by using my user list here. So what I want to do is I want to delete that. I want to create a list of slidable. It's going to have a bunch of slidable. I'm going to call it user slidable. And we're going to instantiate it to nothing. And then here, what we're going to do is we're going to use that user list up here. And then we're going to say user dot for each. All right. Something that it's not liking me for some reason today. Oh no, we want to, okay. That's what we want to do. We want to create a function that creates the list. The list is going to be create user slides. And in that function, what we're going to say is users for each. And instead of element, we're going to replace that with user because we want to use that user feature. And here we go. What we're going to do is for each user, so we're going to go through our user list, right? When we call this function, we're going to go through our user list and we're going to do user slidables dot add. We're going to add to this list that we created here. And what we're going to add is, come back here. We're going to add a slidable. All right. So I'm going to add a slidable. And instead of, let's do this. Instead of starting from scratch, what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this here. And I'm going to come down here to my slidable that I created, minimize this, and cut. I'm going to cut this and put it right here. So that way, we don't have to start from scratch. And so for every user, it's going to create a slidable. Boom, 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 create a slidable. So every time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And every time we go through it. And then at the end of that, so right around here, what we're going to do is we're going to return our user slidables because this is expecting a return type of list, a list return type. And then since this column expects a list, we're going to remove this widget here and we're just going to say return the user slidables. All right, so drum roll, please. We're going to hit play and nothing. And the reason we have nothing is because we have not instantiated it yet. So what we need to do is in here, we need to call our init state. There it is. So void init state. And once the app runs, what we're going to do is call our create user slides. And now if we hit play, what we should have is, look, I'm a slidable. Hey, isn't that pretty? All right. But what we really want is we want it to say some data, right? So what I didn't do is in here, this user, I'm going to use that right here. So instead of look, I'm a slidable, it's going to say user.name. And now if we hot reload that, nothing happens. We have to restart it from fresh. And now it gives me names and I can do, and I can click and I can remove and all that good, fun stuff. Oop. So pretty cool. But we want to, we want to do something with it. We want something to happen, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that once we click on this, it removes the user. So we're going to go to, this is remove. So we're going to go in here. This doesn't have a color yet. Let's give it a color. Colors that purple accent. And then we're going to give it an on tap. And before we even use this on tap, I want to make sure it works. This works. All right, so restart that. And here we go. It restarted. And down here in my console, this works. All right, so we know it works. Now what we want to do is we want to call an actual function here. So we're going to leave that there. And we're going to say remove user. And we haven't created this function yet, but we're going to do that right now. And I'm going to try to use the magic of my IDE, which is a little finicky right now. Create method remove user. So down here, what we're going to do is actually we need some data because we need to know what user it is that we are removing it. So we're going to do user index of user. And apparently my, so I have the user here. I want to grab that user list. User dot index. I wonder if it's because I it's gonna be an int, and then so up here I need bear with me here because I need to know the index. Maybe if I change this to users, and maybe it's having trouble differentiating user index. There we go. Of users. All right. Whew. So now that we have all that, sorry for the confusion there. I like to leave my errors in there because, hey, you know, we all have errors. All right, so what I want to do right now, just to make sure it works, is I'm going to restart it, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to click on it, see if I get the index, and voila, I got index number 5 when I clicked on the 6th one, index number 4. All right, so we're working now. So what I want to do is when I call it, I want to set state, and I want to user remove, not last, but at index of. And what I also want to do is remove that slide. User slides. Is it slidables? I name it slidables. Yep, user slidables. And same story. Remove at, and it's going to be index of. All right, so here's the big reveal. We're going to restart this bad boy. And fingers crossed. Bye-bye, Banana Jones. Oh, look at that. It is beautiful. Bye-bye, Banana Jones. All right, this video has been long enough already. Thank you for supporting me. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Make a comment if you want anything else. Take care.